عن أبي رقية تميم بن أوس الداري رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: الدين النصيحة. قلنا: لمن؟ قال: لله ولكتابه ولرسوله ولأئمة المسلمين وعامتهم. رواه مسلم.
So, what are the other fawaid that we get from this hadith? The jinns were blocked. That's clear. Clear, point in the story. But what fa'idah, what hukum do we get from that? We benefit from this story, the beauty of the Quran and the power of the Quran, not just on humans, but those who hear it and what? That's the key. They hear it and what? Listen. And the average person today, they hear about Islam, but they're not what? Opening up their heads to listen about Islam. The power and the beauty of the what? The Quran and its effect upon hearts. Good. What other fawaid do we get from this story? The virtue of reciting aloud. How is it virtuous? Why is it virtuous? It's the sunnah to recite it aloud in the subh. Another benefit, perhaps someone will become guided therewith, like we said about the adhan, and about identifying yourself and your character, your dressing, everything as a what? Muslim, and not being hidden and secret, but it being what? Known. They say there's no such thing as a Muslim dress today. Some people today, different du'at, different doctors, supposed fuqaha, they say there's no such thing as a Muslim dress. There's no such thing as Muslims don't have a dress code. There's cultural dress. Pakistanis have this cultural dress. Indians have this cultural dress. Nigerians have this cultural dress. Yemenis have this cultural dress. But they say there's no such thing as what? Muslim dress code. So if you live in America, you should not wear a thobe. You should not have your pants above your ankles. You should not wear niqab. You should not, because that's nothing more than what? Culture. That's what we hear from many people. Okay, tight. Well, what's the first thing we're going to say about this? See who's learned the style well. What's the first thing we're going to say, Khalid? What's the first thing we want to say about this and this issue that we're talking about? So the first thing is what?
How do you make Islam apparent?
Nope, we're not even going to go that deep. That's what's intended, but we're going to go deeper than that. The first thing we want to say is what? Perhaps. You should know this by now. The first thing we're going to say what? Mumkin. What does the technique of mumkin do? If we say perhaps, what does that do? It's very important, guys. Talking about technique of fighting, talking about arguing, dawah. Perhaps does what? It does many things. The first thing that perhaps does is it automatically fills your opponent with a false sense of what? Confidence. Like, okay, he's agreeing with me now. Everybody understand this? He's what? He's leaning towards my side. Will you just say no? Then his forces him to push harder or to try another. But you say perhaps. I'm not saying I agree with you, but perhaps that gives him what? And oftentimes when people argue, whatever they're arguing about, Islam, Christianity, football, whatever they're arguing about, most people, not all, most people only argue to support their what? Themselves and their own ego. This is known, most, not all. Except for the few people that Allah has mercy on. Even if they're defending something that they believe in, but it's still me winning the fight is a part of what? No doubt. Who's the human being that doesn't want to win and wants to lose? Everybody understand this? Everybody clear on this or not? So when I say perhaps, what does that do, Salih? That does what? The first thing that it does, it gives this egotistic opponent a sense of what? Thinking, oh, I got him now. He's a sucker. And that sets him up for all types of things, leaves him wide open for all types of what? Counter punches that he's not expecting. Everybody clear on this or not? Number two, it shows what? It's proving to him and to everyone who's listening that you're not a bigot and you're not a fanatic for your view. Wow, he said perhaps, maybe. I may come to what you're saying, perhaps, mumkin. Not 100%, but what? Mumkin. And that's very important when you're debating someone, is not to show the people in front of you that you're what? Stuck on your view, and that's it. Everybody understand this? People they're going to lean towards you now because he's fair. He's impartial. Maybe he's right. But no one is going to like an absolute what? Fanatical bigot. They're going to look at him as a bad sportsman. That the opponent has nothing good to say whatsoever. Everybody understand this? Perhaps we have this conversation another time. I don't think we're ready to talk about the art of what? Of slicing and dicing. Tell you, we're not ready, right? This is clear. We're not ready for this. Tell you, another time. That's all it is. You'd like another time. Moving forward. Tell you, what's important is Muslim dress. No such thing as Muslim dress code. Maybe that's the case. Perhaps you're right. But one of the benefits that you get from identifying yourself as a Muslim, or even the cultural dress of Muslim countries, is that it allows people to do what? To see and to observe. Just like when you say something aloud, it allows them to do what? Hear, and then perhaps they will listen. Somebody will walk up to you because you have one addressed. What is that called? Why are you wearing that dress? Why do you have a full beard? Why don't you shave? Why is your wife covered like this? Why? Kuffar, they will ask questions. Weak Muslims will ask questions, or they'll feel a sense of pride in Islam when they see you outwardly trying to do the right thing. Can we deny this on a daily basis? Or Middle Eastern things. How many people came to Islam just because of Middle Eastern culture? I like Middle Eastern food, or I like Arabs or Arabs. My boyfriend is Arab. That is a door, an introduction to certain things. This is a reality. Everybody understand this or not? Hospitality, whatever the case may be. Everybody clear on this or not? So oftentimes you may underestimate something which is a major factor in people having the opportunity. Everybody understand this? But if it's always quiet and meek and conforming and fit in and never, then that's what? You're no different than the what? The rest of the people. With exceptions to the opportunities in which you can talk to them and actually show them through character, through business dealings. That's a different story. And no one is denying that. No one is what? No one is denying that. But we're talking about you on a train. We're talking about you on an airplane, in the airport. We're talking about you walking down the street. It's like a hair salon. It has the hairstylist has what? Clientele. They come out and they search for him. Wherever he goes, they have his number. They know his or her skills. They're going to go into the shop, to the salon. It's not the same as you being in a storefront on a busy, popular street. You're going to have your clientele and also the what? The walk-ins. The what? The walk-ins. Just for the sheer fact that you're in front of the people's vision. It's a glass window cutting someone's hair. The guy who's on his way to work, I got an extra 20 minutes. Maybe I'll stop and get a haircut. Everybody understand this? Maybe I'll check the guy out. Maybe he's better than my barber. Just by you being what? In the public. Everybody understand this or not? And it's very shocking that we have these statements like this. We're not even getting to the Islamic ruling. Is that even valid speech or not? That's not the point. We live in an age that is run and governed by advertisements. We live in an age that is governed and dominated by marketing. So you saying that there's no benefit, rather it's not the sunnah, it's bad to dress like a Muslim or cultural. And everything that you do is based off of what? Marketing, a logo, a commercial, an advertisement on the bus, on the train, your smartphone. Every single brand name has a what? A logo. And the moment that you see that logo, it represents how many things? Quality, luxury, so on and so forth. The moment you see the Mercedes-Benz logo, first thing you think about, Cadillac. First thing you see, Polo Ralph Lauren. The first thing you go to look for, water, Fiji, Poland Spring, Deer Park. Everybody understand this? You look at the logo, the bear, the deer. It represents what? Something, and that has an effect on you. Everybody understand this? So how can a person say that your outward appearance is of no value or importance or significance? And this is the time you wake up till you go to sleep. Everything is based off of a what? Some type of outward logo. Everybody understand this? That's logically what? Irrational. That is not sound. Everybody clear on this or not? To say that you shouldn't try to propagate Islam through how you dress. No. It's the opposite. You should try to fit in as much as you can to the average normal person. Everybody understand this? Do the companies of the kuffar, do they think like that? The logo stands what? Out. You see Coca-Cola. You already know what that signifies. It's been around for years. Everybody understand this? Pepsi. And the list goes on. Everybody understand this? So dawah is not restricted just to your dress. And dawah is not restricted just to your statements and your actions and your character. Dawah should be what? Everything, according to the best of your ability. And everybody's going to be different. Everyone doesn't have the ability to verbalize da'wah. Everyone doesn't have the ability to do like this, whatever your occupation, al-muhim. But to deny that and to say that that's the opposite, you shouldn't dress like this, that's not making too much sense, in my humble opinion. And Allah knows best.